यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन जमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे 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 राम हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 राम हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमती डिवाइन ग्रेस एसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमती डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की ऑल ग्लोरीज टू असेंबल्ड डिवोटीज ऑल ग्लोरीज टू असेंबल्ड डिवोटीज ऑल ग्लोरीज टू असेंबल्ड डिवोटीज ऑल ग्लोरीज टू श्री गुरु एंड गौरांगा ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जायमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। Hare Krishna. This morning we are discussing from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5th, entitled The Creative Impetus, Chapter 16th, a description of Jambudvip. This is text 4. This text is not in a easy meter to be recited, so we'll just recite one word after another word and then we'll see word to word meaning. Rishi Uvacha Na Vai Maharaja Bhagavato Maya Guna Vibhutaye Kashtam Manasa Vachasa Vadhigantum Alam Vibhudayushapi Purusha Tasmad Pradhana Yenaiva Bhugoloka Vishesham Nama Rupa Mana Lakshanato Vyakhyashayam Vyakhyashama. So we'll see word to word meaning. Rishi Uvacha. Shri Shukadev Goswami continued to speak. Na, not. Why, indeed. Maharaja, O great king. Bhagavata, of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Maya Guna Vibhute, of the transformation of the qualities of the material energy. Kashtam, the end. Manasa, by the mind. Vachasa, by words. Va, either. Adhigantum, to understand fully. Alam, capable. Vibhuda Ayusha, with a duration of life like that of Brahma. Api, even. Purusha, a person. Tasmat, therefore. Pradhanena, by a general description of chief places. Eva, certainly. Bhugoloka Vishesham, the particular description of Bhuloka, Namarupa, names and forms. Mana, measurements. Lakshanat, according to symptoms. Vyakhyashama, I shall try to explain. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Translation. The great Rishi Shukdev Goswami said, My dear king, there is no limit to the expansion of Supreme Personality of Godhead's material energy. This material world is a transformation of material qualities, sattva, raja, tama, Yet no one could possibly explain it perfectly, even in a lifetime as long as that of Brahma. No one in the material world is perfect, and an imperfect person could not describe this material universe accurately, even after continued speculation. O king, I shall nonetheless try to explain you the principal regions such as Bhugoloka or Bhuloka with their names, forms, measurements, and various symptoms. Please recite the translation in response. The great Rishi Shukadev Goswami said, "My dear king, there is no limit to the expansion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead's material energy. The material world is transformation of the material qualities, Sattva, Raja and Tamo Guna. Yet no one could possibly explain it perfectly, even in a lifetime as long as that of Brahma. No one in the material world is perfect, and yet imperfect person could not describe this material world universe accurately, even after continued speculation. O king, I shall nevertheless try to explain to you the principal regions such as Bhugoloka with their names, forms, measurements, and various symptoms. Purport. The material world is only 1/4 of the Supreme Personality of Godhead's creation, but it is unlimited and impossible for anyone to know or even describe, even with the qualification of as long as that of Brahma, who lives for millions and millions of years. Modern scientists and astronomers try to explain the cosmic situation and the vastness of the space, and some of them believe that all the glittering stars are different suns. From Bhagavad Gita, however, we understand that all these stars, nakshatras, are like the moon in that they reflect the sunshine. They are not independent luminaries. Bhuloka is explained to be that portion of the outer space through which the heat and light of the sun extend. Therefore, it is natural to conclude that the universe extends in the space as far as we can see and encompass the glittering stars. Srila Shukadev Goswami admitted that to give full details of the expansive material universe would be impossible. But nevertheless, he wanted to give the king as much knowledge as he had received through Parampara system. We should conclude that if one cannot comprehend the material expansions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one certainly cannot estimate the expansiveness of the spiritual world. The Brahma Samhita confirms this. Advaita Achyutam Anadi Vananta Rupam Adyam Purana Purusham Navayovanam Cha. The limits of the expansions of Govinda, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, cannot be estimated by anyone, even a person as perfect as Brahma, not to speak of tiny scientists whose senses and instruments are all imperfect and who cannot give us the information of even this one universe. We should therefore be satisfied with the information obtainable from Vedic sources as spoken by authorities like Shukadev Goswami. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Raghunathan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasyatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivas Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So first of all, I seek blessings from all the assembled devotees so that we can discuss something very valuable from Srimad Bhagavatam. Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan Bhagwan ki, Shri Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Mai ki, Shri Shri Gauritai ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. So in this verse of Srimad Bhagavatam and in this chapter, few very important concepts have been spoken and discussed. So we will try to see as much as we can. So the first and primary presentation of this verse is that the expansions of Supreme Personality of Godhead are unlimited. Nobody can even understand even a little bit of the expansions of Supreme Personality of Godhead. So what is the thing is that Krishna says that my expansions are extremely unlimited. Modern scientists may be able to understand very, very tiny portion of that. Why? The primary reason why the modern scientists cannot explain to us how this whole material world is working is that first primary reason is that our senses are limited. At max we can understand a three-dimensional understanding of this material world. But Bhagavatam and other Vedic scriptures tell that the world is not just three-dimensional, it is multi-dimensional. Just for example, if we speak about a fourth dimension, our mind starts becoming disturbed. How can a fourth dimension exist also? Because primarily we experience this material world with three dimensions, X, Y and Z dimension. So for example, if somebody tries to explain a three-dimensional structure in two dimensions, how difficult it will be. We will not be able to understand, we will wrongly estimate. Very simple example I can give, at least for our understanding in a primary way, we know that this earth is three-dimensional, spherical, more or less spherical structure. But the same spherical structure, if it is put in a two-dimensional view, we see that the spaces are not described accurately. Like the country like Antarctica is a very small country, but if you open Google Maps and see, you will see that Antarctica is there from minus 180 degree to plus 180 degree. All 360 degrees it is there. And we feel that it is very, very huge continent. But it's actually not so, because it is three-dimensional put into two-dimensional. So our brain, which can process only three dimensions, and if we are put a load of 4 dimensions, our brain will not be in a capacity to understand. So similarly, this whole material world actually exists in 4 dimensions and even beyond 4 dimensions. Sometimes people say that the number of heads Brahma has defines the number of dimensions the material world has. So in various other places we see that some places, in some other planetary systems, Brahmas even have 64 heads. So imagine how difficult it will be to understand even a very small portion of material world. Like sometimes when material scientists describe, like sometimes when we are reading here and there, some people suddenly say that we have found another universe which is 18 lakh light years away from us. A very simple question, how did you understood it? If even for a light, a basic informational element takes 18 lakh years for you to communicate from there to here, how did it communicate it to you? So the basic thing of how anybody else other than Bhagavatam tries to give you information is speculation. They keep on speculating based on formulated theories. And they think that their formulated theories are as if they are Veda Vakyam. And they keep speculating. But sooner or later, one thing or other theory supersedes another theory. Like when I was in school, they very nicely taught us Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. By the time we came 12th class studying engineering, the Pluto is gone of the material world. They say that Pluto is not a planet in our solar system. Then why did we study it? Because happens because we speculate a theory. For a small portion of time, if an astronomical object moves according to our solar system calculations, we think that this is our planet. And unfortunately, sometimes they use Vedic scriptures as, some benchmark to speculate. Because Vedic scriptures say that 9 planets, right, Navagrahas. And they suddenly start speculating, we also should have 9 planets, right? But they don't know in that Navagrahas, there are other planets also, which are not there according to the 9 planets of the scientific explanation. So in this way, whatever information we get, either from scientific theories or scientific textbooks, is very, very speculative. And they are not accurate at all. Because Bhagavatam says that even if a perfect person explains, he will not be able to explain. So what to speak about somebody who tries to understand? So while here Shukdev Goswami is answering, we see that in the setting of Srimad Bhagavatam, even Narad Muni came and sat hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. So as much as this verse is spoken, even Narad Muni is an audience there. And when these verses, planetary systems are spoken, Narad Muni is more or less hearing. So Narad Muni can travel from one planet to another planet. He does not have visa restrictions, planetary motions restrictions, nothing. Like the other day I was seeing, somebody who goes to this ISS, International Space Station, they are given a huge training how to live in microgravity and how to eat, how to excrete in microgravity and do various things. Narad Muni doesn't have all that. He can travel from one planet to another planet, to another planet, to another planet. And he has seen as much as the expansion of this material world. And he is kind of certifying, Shukdev Goswami, whatever he is speaking is fine. So we as devotees of Krishna, as much as we can understand, we should be happy. Yes, we should definitely have an interest at how the Supreme Personality of Godhead's energies are functioning. That is also one of the activities we can learn. Like for example, in the future verses, it is described the planet movements of sun. How sun moves 6 months towards north, 6 months towards south. And while moving that, he creates a samvatsara, 1 year. And through that, 6 seasons come forth in this material world. Which falls. So we easily, in a very simple way, we feel that sunlight is one type of rays. But actually saying sunlight has 1,000 different type of rays. And few rays get obstructed by some planets, few rays does not get obstructed by another planet. For example, one planet is big and another planet is small just behind that planet. Doesn't mean that the smaller planet doesn't get sunlight. Only one dimension of sunlight is being obstructed by that planet, and then the next planet also gets sunlight. So in this way, it is very mysterious how this material world is being created. And most of the people who are scientifically oriented, they have this idea that sun is stationary and then the earth is rotating. And they have very complex understanding of how earth is rotating, and while earth is rotating and sun is actually stationary, then the sun has a 23 degree of deflection, and because of that the whole series of seasons etc. are created. But that is not so actually as per Bhagavatam. The North Pole or the pole star, Dhruvatara, is considered as the center point of the universe, and from there all other calculations are calculated. And all the planetary systems, nakshatras and various star constellations keep moving. So to say, these all planetary systems are moving in a very perfect way. And how that is moving is very mysterious for a normal person to understand. It is just a vibhuti. Like Krishna says, that Andantarastham Paramanu Chayantarastham, Brahma Samhita says, even in a small atom, the Supreme Personality of Godhead expands and resides there. as much as he resides in a planet. So this whole planetary system with the expansive energy of material world, Krishna, very perfectly works. 6 months Uttarayan, 6 months Dakshinayan, and this entire span of Dakshinayan and Uttarayan becomes just one day for planetary systems who are above Bhumandala, that is Svargaloka. For them it is just one day. So like that, Brahma lives 100 years. So here there is description of Brahma's life. If we calculate Brahma's life in earthly years, it will be 811 trillion 40 billion years. Nobody can even think of such a long span of life. But Brahmaji lives, and his experience of that 811 trillion 40 billion years is just 100 years of life. So the primary thing is we will never be able to understand how this material world has been created with such a complex thing. Now, having said that the whole material world is very complex, it is just one-sided understanding. Material world is complex, do not try to understand. Material world is complex, do not try to understand. But still, Bhagavatam takes little bit time. Just imagine Shukadeva Goswami is about to die, and Parikshit Maharaj has a project that he has to come to 10th canto, ultimately, in one way or other. He could have said, "Arey, planetary system chhod do." Like when we have very less time in studying for examinations, we generally start one day before. Tomorrow is exam, we generally start reading one day before. And we flip the pages of the books and we think that, "Arey, ye to useless, not so important, we just skip it." But Shukadeva Goswami is not doing that. And luckily Parikshit Maharaj is also not doing that. He is also little interested to know how glorious is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Of course, definitely the primary most glories of Supreme Personality of Godhead is that how much he loves his devotees and how much he reciprocates with him. But in material world, it's not like that. If we go and try to preach only that Krishna and pure devotees and the gopis are there and the gopas are there, Golok Vrindavan is there, cows is there. Not everyone will be able to appreciate only that vibhuti of Lord. So that's why sometimes Krishna takes out little time to speak little bit of material vibhuti, just to attract those kind of mentality people. Like even in Bhagavad Gita, he takes out one chapter, Vibhuti Yoga, 10th chapter, to speak how much my expansive material world is very specifically created. So now this chapter is just beginning of that Vibhuti of Lord, where their material world is extremely unlimited. The dimensions are very, very huge, not so very easy to understand. So here, the chapter title says Jambu Dvipa, description of Jambu Dvip. So why Shukadeva Goswami is describing the Jambu Dvip a little bit more? Because we are actually sitting in Jambu Dvip. There are 7 Dvipas, one Dvip after another Dvip. Plakshva Dvip, Salamala Dvip, so many like that, 7 concentric Dvipas. And after 7 concentric Dvipas and after a very long space of existence, there is Manasottara mountain, and on the top of Manasottara mountain resides the chariot of Surya Dev. So Surya Dev is like 12,000 into 1,000 yojanas. So here the whole description will be about yojanas. 1 yojana means 8 miles, 1 mile means 1.6 kilometers approximately. So whenever we go to Bhagavatam, you will keep on hearing this word called yojana, like that. So now in the Jambu Dvip, there are again 9 tracts of land. There are 7 concentric islands. After that there is Loka Varsha, and then there is Manasottara mountain, on which there is a chariot of sun, which is rotating at a very huge speed. That is the distance. Central point of Jambu Dvip to Manasottara mountain is the distance between the central portion. The central portion has many sections. The first section is Ilavrata Varsha. And in the center of the Ilavrata Varsha, there is mountain of gold. called Sumeru mountain, or there are different sections of that Sumeru mountain. Some people call it as Mandara mountain also. So this mountain, when we hear this, there is a mountain of gold. Can you imagine? Here 1 gram of gold is how much now? I don't know. How much? I don't know. Very huge value. 10 grams people run hither and thither. 1 gold biscuit you get. You think that your life is like successful. You got so much value. But when Bhagavatam describes, it describes very lightly. In the center of elaborate verse, there is a huge mountain which is of some 1,000 yojanas height, inverted cone-like structure, and it is made of gold. As if they don't value gold at all. We get little bit gold, we become very excited. The whole mountain made of gold, rock solid gold, without any mixtures or corruption, whole gold, Sumeru mountain. Now immediately when we heard this, I got a doubt. They describe that the central portion of Ilavarata has Sumeru mountain, and Ilavarata has 3 verses on the northern side, 3 verses on the southern side. So it becomes total 7 verses, 1 on eastern side, 1 on western side, 1 Varsha. And of the southern Varshas, the third and the southernmost Varsha is called Bharat Varsha. So when I first heard this, I got a doubt. If there is a huge mountain of Sumeru and the Bharat Varsha is just little bit south, that little bit south is also like thousands and lakhs of yojanas, so to say, but still little bit south. So when the sun comes in an orientation where the Sumeru mountain is in the center, earth is on one side and sun is on the other side, how do we get sunlight? Like if you are standing behind a pillar, earth also as per compared to Sumeru mountain is very, very small. For us, earth is very huge. But for earth, from the view, like just like if you have taken a plane, and the moment plane takes off, and after 2 or 3 minutes, you start seeing houses very, very small, like a tiny fraction of point in the ground. So similarly, if you go up, zoom out your consciousness and see Jambudvip, earth will be like a small particle somewhere in the southern portion of Bharatvarsha. And we feel, how do we get sunlight? So when we go further in the chapters, we understand that sunlight is not just limited to the physical objects. It has many, many rays. It can just pierce through the planets also and still reach. So we can get a doubt that sometimes we have eclipse and moon, so to say, restricts the flow of sunlight on the planet Earth. How does that happen? So of course, most of the modern scientists, people say that it is just because of moon. Earth is also rotating, moon is rotating around Earth, and sun is also sun is stationary. So the moonlight falls on Earth. Looks like very simple explanation. But the Bhagavatam says that along with moon trying to obstruct the sun rays, there is another planet called Rahu. Only when the conjuncture happens, when Rahu and moon and sun and earth come in same line, only that is the time when eclipses happen. So moon individually cannot have that strength to obstruct the sun rays. It has to be accompanied by one more planet called Rahu. And Rahu alone also cannot do it, because Rahu also is another black planet which rotates in the outer space. And moon and Rahu together, when they come in the line, that is when the lunar eclipse happen, and similarly solar eclipse happen. Different ways. So in this way, as much as we try to explain, understand material world, as much as we understand that we cannot understand. So the whole understanding, trying to explain for devotees I am telling, is the more we try to understand this whole complex material world, the more we understand that we cannot understand. And when we try to understand and we do not understand, then we should understand that we are understanding a little bit. So that is as much complex as it can be. Now every place where here it is described that in the Jambudvip there is Ilavarata Varsha, and Ilavarata Varsha Lord Shiva is sitting in the central portion. And only male allowed in that Ilavarata Varsha is Lord Shiva. All other people are female there. Only Parvati's companions, Lord Sati's companions only go there. Now after Ilavarta Varsha, the other next division, there is another mountain which is described. There is a mountain, then there is Varsha, then there is mountain, then there is Varsha, then there is mountain, then there is Varsha. So just above the Bharata Varsha, there is Himalayas, it is described. Now most of us, we think very easily that, if you go to Nepal, the Himalayas that you see is the Himalayas that is being obstructed or described in the in this Bhagavatam. But these Himalayas are just a fraction of the original Himalayas. We do not stay in Bharatavarsha as to say Bharatavarsha. In the Bharatavarsha also there are 9 tracts of land, and one tract of land is called as Bharata Khanda. When we chant the Vedic mantras inviting Supreme Personality of Godhead in the Yagyas, we chant Jambu Dvipe Bharat Dakshina Tire, Dakshina means southern side, Bharata Varshe, Bharata Khande, Meru ho Dakshina southern portion. So we say Bharata Varsha and then we say Bharata Khanda. Bharata Khanda, this is the planet which we stay, is actually Bharata Khanda. Now people explain it in different ways. I don't want to go. But so far I have understood in reading and understanding from various Iskcon sources that this earth planet is Bharata Khanda. Now within the earth planet also there are many mysterious things. There are 2 norths. One is geographical north, another is magnetic north. We generally, when we read through, we don't give so much details to things. We feel that there is only north direction, east direction, west direction, south direction, sufficient for us. But there are 2 norths, first time to do 2 norths, we feel disturbed in our heart. How there can be 2 norths? Right? One is geographical north, another is magnetic north. Geographical north is north which always points towards northern pole or the pole star. Magnetic north is, we know there is magnetic flux in the earth, and because of which there is magnetic north. So the magnetic north is little different, little angular towards geographical north. So when we hear this, we become very confused. So which is exactly North Pole? So many times we hear there is North Pole, there is South Pole. Which North Pole is that geographical North Pole or which is magnetic North Pole? Sometimes confusing. And many of the times if we just open and see, we feel that there is Antarctica. Earth is planet round and very easy. But if you open and try to do a little bit research, where exactly is South Pole? Of course, if there is North Pole, there should be South Pole also. And even the material scientists who do such research, they have argued, debated to a large extent where exactly is South Pole. If you go to North Arctic Circle, there is some flag they have made it and said that this is North Pole. Something they have done, fine, no problem. But there is nothing like South Pole as of now. It is debated, discussed, and very confused topic. And some people say that South Pole doesn't exist only. The portion of Bharata Khanda, how it is connected to Jambudvip, extends from that southern pole, and we exactly don't know where the South Pole is located, and how this Bharata Khanda is connected to Jambudvip. Mystery. So some portions of this material world are like that. It is just mysterious, you cannot understand. And over the top, this material world is also quite changing. When a yuga changes, most of the geographical orientations of the planet, the countries and continents also changes. Like when we read Valmiki Ramayana, like when we grow up in India, it is very easy. They say that Lord Ramachandra went to Rameshwaram, he built the bridge to Sri Lanka. And we feel done. Sri Lanka is a continent, Rameshwaram is a place, and the 21 kilometer stretch is Ram Setu, and we are happy, done and dusted. But if you just open Valmiki Ramayana and read a little bit, it is described that Hanumanji, when he jumped, it was 100 yojanas. No, sorry, 1000 yojanas. Sorry. 1000 yojana means 8,000 miles. 8,000 miles means approximately 16,000 kilometers. But Rameshwaram to Sri Lanka is 21 kilometers. It is described that the bridge, the Ram Setu built, the width was 100 yojanas. The length was 1000 yojanas, width was 100 yojanas. Even if now width is only 100 yojanas, here the length is 21 kilometers. How do we map it? How do we map it? So when the yuga changes, the whole orientation of continents also change. So this material world we will never be able to understand. In one of the purports, Prabhupada writes that Brazil, which is considered to have the largest gold mines in the earth planetary system, was once a city of Ravana. And Ravana used to import gold from Brazil to Lanka. Like that Prabhupada writes. It is very difficult. How will you understand? Brazil is somewhere. There is no left tract of Vedic civilization. But still, the planets are so huge, we cannot very easily understand things. So now, just imagine, Bharatakhanda is one planet, and I said Bharatavarsha has 9 such tracts of land. So there are 8 other planets which are very closely situated to us. The scientists are trying to say that we have landed in moon. They suddenly come up in 1969. They came up and they declared, announced videos, photos, everything, becoming viral in the news in 1969. We have landed on moon, right? And from 1969 till 1971 or 72, they have landed moon like left, right and center. 6 or 7 times they have landed in just 3 years. And you tell them, what happened to moon landing after 71 or 72? Chup chap. 50, 55, 60 years over. Nobody had landed on moon in last 50 years. Why? Why is it so difficult? If in 1.5 year you have landed 3, 6, 7 times. Apollo 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. In these 7 missions, only 1 mission was unsuccessful. Right? 6 missions successful to moon in 1.5, 2 years. After that, don't speak about it. Why? Because we cannot fool people beyond a limit. Right? You have landed on moon, Bharatavarsha, Bhagavatam says there are 8 other planets very closely situated to Earth, my dear. Where are those planets? No description, nothing. They don't even know where this planet exists. Ilavartavarsha, they don't know. Sumeru mountain, which is very, very close to us, more closer to us than sun or moon or any other, that 18 lakh light years, they say. More closer to that is Sumeru mountain. You find out Sumeru mountain first. They don't have access. The whole understanding that it exists in a different dimension. We don't have access only. There are so many planets. It is only that these 9 specific planets we have little bit access to. And these movements of these 9 planets influences the life on earth. We could able to somehow say that there is Jupiter. They say that Jupiter, we say it as Guru. And as much as one cycle of movement around sun, or rather sun's movement around us is 1 year. Similarly, the movement of Jupiter around the solar system is 12 years. They say that 11 years, 6 months. Just want to differ from the Bhagavatam's calculation. So Jupiter's 1 year is equal to 12 years of us. So that is one of the reason why the Guru Bala extends to a person almost till 12 years. And the movement of sun, just it takes Uttara and Dakshina and 6 months, 6 months. Similarly, a Jupiter comes back to its own track after 12 years. And then there is, because it takes 12 years, there is conjuncture between Earth, Jupiter and Sun, once again after 12 years. So that's the reason once in a while, once in 12 years, because of that specific sun rays coming to Earth, this Kumbh Mela happens. And we feel that the divine nectar which originated during planetary distribution comes back as a commemoration once in 12 years. So in this way, the whole material expansion is very, very huge and very, very complicated. If we go too deep into it, we will also get lost. So we as devotees, we should only taste this a little bit as much as Bhagavatam gives. And we understand that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is completely unlimited. in every aspect of his existence. So this gives us that understanding of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Prabhupada writes in the purport, this is just 1/4 of the creation of existence. The 3/4 is spiritual world. In this 1/4, every breath of the Lord creates millions of universe. And one inhale of the Lord eliminates millions of universe. In one universe, huge planetary systems that are being created, 14 planetary systems. Atala, Sutala, Vitala, Talatala, Rasatala, Mahatala, Patala, and then Bhuloka, Bhurloka, Swargaloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, Maharloka, and then there is Satyaloka, that is Brahmaloka. These 14 planetary systems, not 14 planets, 14 planetary systems. Bhumandala has 7 dvipas, not 7 planets. Each dvipa has millions of planets. Just like Jambu Dvipa has 9 varshas. One varsha, Bharata varsha, has 9 planets. So even if we take that as average, Jambu Dvipa should have 7 plus 2, 9 into 9, something like 80-90 planets Jambu Dvipa has. And we are just, even with that so much of scientific advancement, we are not able to even get a list of how many planets we have. And most of the estimates of the scientific knowledge about how this material world came into being, how it is working, is very, very speculated. And not one theory coincides with another theory. And the way the scientists give prizes and awards to each other is that his theory is most appropriate as of now. Most appropriate as of now. After some time, his theory may become redundant, irrelevant. But as of now, this theory seems to be interesting. So it's very interesting how Supreme Personality of Godhead created this material world and just expanded his illusory energy a little bit more, so that the people can keep bewildering, speculating, like that. So we can also go on, as Shukadev Goswami says, you can just go on and go on, but we still have time limitations. Further in this chapter, you will see all what he has told, that I will give you some names, expansions, measurements and qualities of this Jambudvipa. So Jambudvipa is encircled with salt water. When we go to ocean also, we generally get to see and observe salt water. But you go little bit next next to Dweep, it is described that there is sweet water also. Then there is mango juice ocean also. Then there is liquors ocean also. So like that, when we hear, we become very bewildered. Here the liquor is sold in bottles and people buy it out. If somebody who stays in another dweep where liquor ocean is very easily found and he hears earth planet mein liquor becha ja raha hai, he'll be like, come on, why? It's just available. Like in this earth world, generally salt water is not sold. Sweet water is sold. But salt water is not sold like in a bottles, because it is as easily available as any other thing. So if you go to another planet, another dweepa, where there is ocean of liquor, the person, earth mein liquor becha ja raha hai? Really? Like that. The residents on Sumeru mountain is inverted cone residents. And there if it is told, gold, a person has to work hard and buy little gold at the end of his few years of hard work. Really? ये तो इधर ही मिल जाता है ऐसे. What's so difficult? Like that. So we have very tiny experience of this material world. So Bhagavatam gives us a little bit view into this. So anyways, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. If anybody has any questions or anybody has any comments, you can please do so. Hare Krishna. Yes? If mic is there, can be given.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
About 40 years back, like that,
Okay. Hmm. Moon's atmosphere. Waving as if there is air. Hmm. Moon, yeah.
So, actually, is it that also is one of the proof that they did not land there?
Oh, like that, there are 6, 7 theories that they have brought up. How there can be shadows of the people, how there can be no stars visible from moon's surface, and there are X, Y, Z. Another primary, another primary problem with the moon theory is that when we cross Earth's surface, there is some rays which human beings cannot go through. So like that, there are many theories. There can be theories, counter theories, and all that. But the primary thing which the question still lies is that why even in last 50-55 years, no successful moon landing has happened. Please try to explain. Human beings landing on moon has not yet happened in last 50-55 years. Why is it so? Primary. Then they come up with the theory that at that time we employed 4,000 engineers, and the American government has poured out all the money, because at that time, the 1962, the president had promised by the end of this decade, I will land the human beings on moon. So that because to fulfill that promise, the American government has poured out all that money into the research and everything. Why can't you do it now? Prove your superiority once again if you have done it in 1969. So like that, theories, counter theories go on. Yes, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for wonderful class.
Hare Krishna.
Many wonderful points you told regarding this Bharat Varsa and different things. One example you gave, Prabhuji, regarding the Kumbh Mela. That Kumbh Mela happened based on the when they are coming in same line, Sun, Earth, and
Jupiter, yeah.
There some particular rays will be there that will follow the water, and based on that, the water have quality or something. Water has some special power they get. If somebody will take bath there, then they will get the benefit from there.
The 4 places, one is Haridwar, Prayagraj, Nashik, and I don't remember the other 4 places. Ujjain, yeah. These 4 places, it is believed that the nectar which was getting distributed through the planet Guru comes in these 4 places once in a while. So some people say Ardha Kumbha, Mahakumbha, and like that. So Jupiter, when it goes up, it is in central portion, goes to the northernmost, comes back to the southernmost, comes back to the central portion. So when it is on the northernmost, like 3 years, 12 years, right? 3, 3, 3, 3, 12 years. So when it is in 3 years, they say Ardha Kumbha, some terminology is there.
So my question is that based on Kumbh Mela example you are giving, so it proves that all this planet, when they move, based on that it will affect our lifestyle also, our consciousness also. And that's the reason people apply these things in our life. For example, this what we call rings and different malas, they will wear different types of hairstyles they will go. So this due to planet movement, affect our consciousness. So my question is this, Prabhu, that as you told, scientists have very less knowledge. The limited knowledge they have, based on that, whatever they will do, they will prove. And they try to prove logically more compared to the something. Well, Shastras have much knowledge. So if some guru is there who is telling that we have writing some books, and he telling that it's a magic book. If you take this book or you read this book, all the problems of the life will be resolved. Or someone showing them magic. For example, recently some gurus are there. I don't want to take name. That he is telling that we open the pariksha, we will get the result. We will save from all the problems of the life. So how much we have to be trust on them, and what is our approach to those people?
See, this astrology generally, people calculate a person's life based on at the time he was born, and when he is born, what is the planetary situation of each different planets, specifically these 9 planets. So that is definitely a science, but in this modern Kali Yuga, there is no very good person who can exactly explain to you. And in Kali Yuga, generally people are born of a low grade karma. Satyuga, Dwapar Yuga, Treta Yuga, Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga is the worst of age where whose karmas are very, very bad. They are born. Generally, those whose karmas, people karmas are good, in Satyuga, Dwapar Yuga only they will get liberated and go back. Of the worst of worst lot, worst of worst lot is Kali Yuga. So no matter how much we do that research of planetary system, how my life is being influenced by these planets, we will not get much benefit out. Even if the science is correct, the person is correct, still our hearts are full of anarthas and our karma from many, many lives are very, very bad. So we need not waste so much time. Some guru may say that मैं magic कर दूंगा. It is publicity stunt. Many times on the social media also you will get advertisement. Join an astrology and you will immediately solve all the problems of life. ऐसा होता नहीं है. They themselves will be facing problems to establish that business. So it doesn't happen so easily. Although it is a science, works to some people, doesn't mean that it becomes an core principles of anybody's life. We just have to ignore, we say thank you. All the planets, the Supreme Personality of Godhead governs all the planets. So we worship Him and we become purified by that process. Right? Thank you. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.